The city throbbed with relentless energy, its pulse a symphony of car horns, rumbling engines, and the ceaseless chatter of hurried footsteps. Buildings, steel and glass giants, clawed at the sky, casting long shadows that danced with the rhythm of the day. Amidst this urban jungle, a lone figure, a German shepherd named Rusty, navigated the concrete maze, his survival instincts honed by the harsh realities of life on the streets. Rusty was a magnificent creature, his coat a tapestry of rich browns and blacks, his eyes a deep amber that held a world of weariness and resilience. He was a stray, abandoned long ago, his past a forgotten chapter in the city's unforgiving narrative. He had learned to scavenge for scraps, his keen nose sniffing out discarded food amidst overflowing trash bins, his powerful jaws tearing into the remnants of forgotten meals. He had learned to navigate the labyrinth of alleyways and backstreets, his senses alert to the dangers lurking in the shadows. He had encountered the best and worst of humanity. The kindness of a shared sandwich from a compassionate soul, the harsh shooing away from a disgruntled shopkeeper, the indifference of hurried footsteps that passed him by without a glance. Rusty had learned to trust his instincts, to rely on his own strength and cunning to survive in a world that offered little solace to a stray dog. He was a solitary figure, his presence a fleeting shadow amidst the city's vibrant tapestry, his existence a testament to the resilience of the canine spirit. He roamed the streets with quiet dignity, his gait a steady rhythm that echoed the city's pulse, his gaze a stoic reflection of the hardships he had endured. As the sun began its descent, casting long shadows that stretched across the city's canyons, Rusty sought refuge in a quiet alleyway, its grimy walls a familiar haven from the day's relentless energy. He curled up beneath a discarded cardboard box, his body seeking warmth against the encroaching chill, his eyes scanning the shadows with a vigilance born of experience. The city, a concrete jungle that offered little solace to a stray dog, held its breath, its symphony of sounds fading into a distant hum as Rusty surrendered to the weariness that weighed heavily on his soul. He closed his eyes, his dreams a fleeting escape from the harsh realities of his existence, his spirit seeking a moment of respite in the heart of the urban wilderness. The tranquility of the alleyway, a momentary reprieve from the city's relentless rhythm, was shattered by the sudden fury of a summer storm. The sky, once a canvas of twilight hues, transformed into a swirling mass of dark clouds, their ominous presence casting an eerie gloom over the urban landscape. The wind, a howling beast unleashed, whipped through the narrow alleyways, its icy breath carrying the scent of rain and the distant rumble of thunder. Raindrops, fat and heavy, began to fall, their relentless assault against the concrete and steel creating a symphony of percussive echoes. Rusty, his slumber disturbed by the storm's sudden fury, stirred from his makeshift bed beneath the cardboard box. His fur bristled, his senses heightened, his instincts urging him to seek shelter from the elements. He ventured deeper into the alleyway, his paws navigating the maze of overflowing trash bins and discarded debris, his eyes scanning the shadows for a haven from the downpour. The rain, now a torrential downpour, soaked his fur, its icy touch sending shivers down his spine. He spotted a small alcove, a recessed doorway leading to an abandoned building, its boarded-up windows and crumbling facade a testament to its forgotten existence. He slipped into the alcove, his body seeking refuge from the relentless rain, his eyes adjusting to the dim light that filtered through the cracks in the boarded-up windows. As he settled into his temporary shelter, his ears perked up, his senses drawn to a faint sound that cut through the storm's cacophony. It was a whimper, a soft, plaintive cry that seemed to emanate from the depths of the abandoned building. Rusty, his curiosity piqued, his instincts urging him to investigate, cautiously pushed open the dilapidated door, its rusty hinges groaning in protest. He stepped into the darkness, his senses heightened, his body tense with a mix of apprehension and a primal urge to explore the unknown. The interior of the building, a cavernous space filled with shadows and the musty scent of decay, echoed with the storm's fury. Rainwater dripped through the cracks in the ceiling, creating puddles on the dust-covered floor, their surfaces reflecting the faint light that filtered through the broken windows. Rusty, his eyes adjusting to the gloom, spotted a small form huddled in a corner, its silhouette barely discernible against the backdrop of shadows. He approached cautiously, his paws patting softly on the damp floor, his senses alert to any sign of danger. As he drew closer, he recognized the form of a cat, its gray tabby coat matted and drenched, its body shivering uncontrollably, its breath shallow and labored. It was a stray like himself, its presence a testament to the city's unforgiving nature, its vulnerability a mirror to his own experiences of hardship and survival. The cat, its eyes half closed, its body weakened by the storm's relentless assault, seemed oblivious to Rusty's presence. Its breaths grew shallower, its shivering more violent, its life force fading with each passing moment. Rusty, his hardened exterior softened by the sight of the dying creature, felt an unexpected surge of compassion, a primal instinct to offer comfort and warmth to a fellow survivor in the face of the storm's fury. He lay down beside the cat, his large body a shield against the cold, his warmth a beacon of hope in the darkness. The cat, sensing the dog's presence, its eyes fluttering open, met Rusty's gaze with a flicker of gratitude, its faint purr a testament to the unexpected kindness that had found it in its final moments. Rusty, his heart touched by the cat's vulnerability, his own loneliness momentarily forgotten, curled his body around the dying creature, his warmth a final act of compassion in the heart of the storm. The storm raged on, its fury echoing through the dilapidated building, its relentless assault a symphony of wind, rain, and thunder. Rusty, his body a protective barrier against the elements, lay beside the dying cat, his warmth a beacon of comfort in the face of the encroaching darkness. The cat, its frail body nestled against Rusty's fur, its shallow breaths mingling with the dog's steady rhythm, found solace in the unexpected warmth, a respite from the storm's relentless battering. Its eyes, once clouded with pain and fear, now held a flicker of gratitude, a spark of connection that transcended the boundaries of species. Rusty, his hardened exterior softened by the cat's vulnerability, felt a stirring within him, an unfamiliar yet undeniable feeling of protectiveness. His warm breath brushed against its tiny, trembling frame, his presence offering silent reassurance. The cat, its name barely a whisper in the echoes of the storm, was Luna, a stray, much like Rusty, who had known only the harsh realities of the streets. She had scavenged for scraps, dodged speeding cars, and endured the indifference of a world that offered little kindness to a solitary feline. Yet despite her hardships, she had retained a gentle spirit. Rusty, his own past filled with loneliness and struggle, recognized a kindred soul in Luna's fading eyes. He had known the sting of hunger, the chill of winter nights, and the isolation of a world that seldom spared a thought for those who lived on its fringes. But Rusty, despite the weight of his experiences, had never lost his capacity for empathy, his innate understanding of the shared vulnerability that connected all living creatures. Now, as he watched Luna's life fade away, he felt a deep sense of responsibility, a primal urge to offer comfort and companionship in her final moments. He nuzzled against her, his warmth an unspoken promise, his presence a silent farewell. The storm continued its relentless wail, but within the ruined walls of the abandoned building, a different kind of storm brewed. One of emotion, of transformation, of an unexpected bond that transcended the harsh reality of survival. As the night wore on, Rusty remained steadfast, his body a shield against the howling winds, his warmth an unwavering beacon in the dark. He watched over Luna with gentle vigilance, his rough tongue occasionally licking away the droplets of rain that clung to her fur. Her body, once trembling with cold and exhaustion, stilled. Her breaths, though faint, no longer held the desperation of before. She was slipping away, her life force ebbing like the tide receding into the vast unknown. Rusty, his heart heavy with a sadness he had never known before, let out a quiet whimper, a sound swallowed by the storm's fury. He had seen many things in his time on the streets, cruelty, indifference, fleeting moments of kindness, but nothing had prepared him for this. He had never truly cared for another creature, never allowed himself the vulnerability of attachment. And yet, in Luna's final moments, he had found something he hadn't realized he needed: connection. The storm finally began to subside, its fury waning, its howling winds replaced by a gentle drizzle. The city, once battered by the tempest, now lay in a hushed, rain-slicked silence. Rusty remained curled around Luna, his eyes closed, his thoughts adrift in the echoes of the storm and the quiet that followed. The moment stretched, an eternity wrapped in the stillness of dawn's first light. Then, with one final breath, Luna went still. Rusty did not move, did not stir as the realization settled within him. He only pressed closer, his presence unwavering, his warmth a final gift. The storm had taken much, but it had given him something as well: An understanding, a purpose, a recognition that life, no matter how fleeting, was meant to be shared. The first rays of morning painted the sky in muted hues of lavender and gold, casting soft light through the cracks in the broken windows. Rusty finally stood, his body stiff, his gaze lingering on Luna's lifeless form. He did not whimper, did not cry. He only gazed for a long moment before stepping away. He would not forget her, could not. Her memory would remain with him, etched into the fibers of his being, a testament to the kindness shared in the heart of the storm. And as he stepped back into the awakening city, his heart heavy yet somehow lighter, Rusty carried Luna's spirit with him, her presence a whisper in the morning breeze, a quiet reminder that even in the coldest, darkest nights, warmth could still be found. The city awoke with a weary sigh, its rhythm a subdued echo of its usual frenetic energy. The storm had passed, leaving behind a trail of glistening streets and a sky washed clean by the rain. In the quietude of the morning, a lone figure emerged from the shadows of the abandoned building, his gait heavy, his head bowed. Rusty, his fur still damp from the storm, his heart heavy with the loss of Luna, stepped onto the street, his senses dulled by grief. His presence was a mere shadow amidst the city's awakening. He passed by familiar landmarks, the overflowing trash bins where he usually scavenged for scraps, the bustling marketplace where he often sought refuge from the midday heat, the park bench where he had once watched a young couple share a stolen kiss. But the city, once a familiar landscape of survival, now seemed alien. Its vibrant energy was a stark contrast to the emptiness that gnawed at his soul. The usual symphony of sounds, the car horns, the chattering voices, the rumbling engines, now grated on his ears, their cacophony a jarring reminder of the world's indifference to his loss. Seeking solace, he wandered into a quiet alley, curling up beneath a fire escape, his body seeking warmth against the lingering chill. His eyes fixed on the gray sky, its muted hues mirroring the somberness of his heart. As he lay there, his thoughts drifted back to Luna. Her frail body nestled against his fur, her soft purrs a fading echo in his memory. He remembered the unexpected surge of compassion that had led him to offer her comfort, the warmth he had shared, the connection they had forged in the heart of the storm. He had never experienced such a bond before, such a selfless act of kindness towards another creature. He had always been a solitary survivor, his instincts honed by the harsh realities of his existence. But Luna's presence, her vulnerability, her quiet trust in his unexpected compassion, had awakened something within him. A dormant capacity for connection, a longing for companionship that transcended the boundaries of species. He mourned her passing, his grief a testament to the depth of their bond. But now, as he lay beneath the fire escape, a new feeling stirred within him. A sense of gratitude for the brief encounter, a recognition of the transformative power of compassion. He realized that Luna, in her vulnerability, had given him a gift, a glimpse into the depths of his own capacity for love and connection. She had shown him that even in the harshest of environments, even in the face of death, kindness could blossom, offering solace and transforming the hearts of those who dared to embrace it. A whisper of hope, a faint flicker of light ignited within him, a spark that rekindled his spirit, a beacon that guided him out of the shadows of grief. He rose to his paws, his body filled with a newfound energy, his gaze fixed on the horizon, his heart open to the possibilities that lay ahead. He would carry Luna's memory with him, her gentle spirit a reminder of the transformative power of compassion. He would face the city's challenges with a renewed sense of purpose, his heart open to the potential for connection, his spirit guided by the beacon of hope that had been ignited in the heart of the storm. The city, a concrete jungle teeming with life and indifference, stretched out before Rusty like a familiar battleground. He navigated its streets with a renewed sense of purpose, his gait steady, his gaze alert, his heart carrying the echoes of Luna's gentle spirit. He scavenged for scraps with practiced efficiency, his keen nose leading him to overflowing bins and discarded food containers. But the hunger that gnawed at his stomach was no longer the sole driving force behind his actions. He felt a responsibility, a newfound awareness of the vulnerability of other creatures navigating this urban wilderness. He shared his meager findings with a stray kitten, its tiny meow a symphony of gratitude, its trust in his unexpected kindness a mirror to Luna's own vulnerability. He defended a timid pigeon from the aggressive advances of a larger crow, his protective instincts awakened by the memory of Luna's fragility. He offered a comforting presence to a homeless man huddled in a doorway, his silent companionship a testament to the shared understanding of those who lived on the fringes of society. Rusty's actions, a stark contrast to his once solitary existence, were a reflection of the transformation that had taken place within him. Luna's presence, her vulnerability, her quiet trust in his unexpected compassion had unlocked a hidden part of his being, a capacity for empathy and connection that had been buried beneath the layers of hardship and survival. As he roamed the streets, his presence no longer a fleeting shadow, he began to notice the subtle nuances of the city, the hidden pockets of kindness that existed amidst the indifference. He saw the elderly woman feeding the pigeons in the park, her gentle smile a beacon of compassion. He witnessed the young couple sharing a sandwich with a homeless man, their act of generosity a reminder of the shared humanity that connected them all. He heard the laughter of children playing in a schoolyard, their innocent joy a testament to the resilience of the human spirit. These observations, once mere background noise in his struggle for survival, now resonated with a deeper meaning, a recognition of the interconnectedness of life, the delicate balance between hardship and hope, the enduring power of kindness in a world that often seemed harsh and unforgiving. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the city sky in hues of orange and purple, Rusty found himself drawn to a quiet corner of a park, a small oasis of green amidst the concrete jungle. He lay down beneath a willow tree, its branches drooping like a weeping widow, their leaves rustling in the gentle breeze. As he rested, his thoughts drifted back to his past, the memories he had long suppressed resurfacing with newfound clarity. He remembered his life before the streets, the warmth of a loving home, the playful games with his human family, the unconditional love that had once filled his heart. He remembered the accident, the screeching tires, the blinding lights, the searing pain that had shattered his world, leaving him orphaned and alone. He remembered the fear, the confusion, the desperate struggle for survival that had hardened his exterior, his vulnerability masked by a stoic resilience. But now, as he lay beneath the willow tree, the memories no longer held the same sting. Luna's presence, her gentle spirit, her unwavering trust in his kindness had softened the edges of his past, her memory a balm to his wounded soul. He realized that his journey, though marked by hardship and loss, had also led him to a deeper understanding of himself, a recognition of his capacity for compassion and connection. He was no longer just a stray, a survivor, a product of the city's unforgiving streets. He was Rusty, a dog with a heart filled with empathy, a spirit tempered by resilience, a creature capable of love and connection. His journey was a testament to the transformative power of kindness and the enduring strength of the canine spirit. The park, a small haven of green amidst the city's concrete expanse, held its breath as the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in a canvas of fiery hues. The usual symphony of urban sounds, the laughter of children, the chatter of passers-by, the distant sirens, faded into a gentle hum, replaced by the rustling of leaves and the chirping of crickets. Rusty, his body nestled beneath the weeping willow, his mind adrift in the memories of his past, sensed a presence approaching. Footsteps, soft and deliberate, padded along the paved path. He opened his eyes, his gaze meeting the curious stare of a young woman. Her features were framed by a cascade of auburn hair, her eyes a warm hazel that held a hint of concern. The woman, her name was Emily, was a student at the nearby university. She often sought solace in the park, its tranquility a respite from the demands of her studies and the bustling city life. She had noticed Rusty before, his presence a familiar sight among the park's regulars. His stoic demeanor and watchful eyes had always intrigued her, but today, something was different. She saw a vulnerability in his posture, a sadness in his eyes that tugged at her heartstrings. She approached cautiously, her voice soft and gentle, her words a tentative offering of connection. "Hello there," she said, her voice barely a whisper, as if not wanting to disturb the peaceful atmosphere. "You seem a bit down today." Rusty, his initial instinct to retreat overridden by a newfound openness, met her gaze with quiet curiosity. He had encountered many humans in his time on the streets, their interactions ranging from indifference to kindness and, occasionally, cruelty. But there was something different about this woman, a gentleness in her demeanor, a genuine concern in her eyes that disarmed his usual wariness. He wagged his tail tentatively, a subtle gesture of acknowledgement, a silent invitation to approach. Emily, sensing his acceptance, knelt beside him, her hand outstretched, her fingers gently stroking his fur. Rusty leaned into her touch, savoring the warmth of her hand, the gentleness of her caress. He had been touched by humans before, their pats often accompanied by a shared morsel of food or a fleeting moment of connection. But this touch was different. It held tenderness, an empathy that resonated with the vulnerability he had discovered within himself. Emily, her heart touched by his quiet acceptance, shared her own story. She spoke of her love for animals, of a childhood filled with rescued strays and cherished pets. She spoke of her dream of one day opening a sanctuary for abandoned creatures. She spoke of her studies, her passion for literature, her desire to use her words to inspire compassion and understanding. She spoke of her own struggles, the anxieties of student life, the loneliness of navigating a new city, the challenges of finding her place in a world that often seemed overwhelming. Rusty listened intently, his head tilted, his eyes fixed on her face, his tail wagging gently. He understood the nuances of human emotion, the subtle shifts in tone and body language that conveyed their inner world. He recognized the shared vulnerability in her story, the common thread of loneliness, and the search for connection that resonated with his own experiences. As Emily finished her story, a comfortable silence settled between them, a shared understanding that transcended the boundaries of language. Rusty, his heart filled with newfound warmth, nudged her hand with his snout, his gesture a silent offering of companionship, a testament to the connection they had forged. Emily, her eyes brimming with tears, wrapped her arms around Rusty's neck, her embrace a gesture of gratitude and acceptance. In that moment, beneath the weeping willow, a bond was formed, a testament to the power of compassion, a beacon of hope in the heart of the city. As twilight deepened, casting long shadows across the park, Emily bid farewell to Rusty, her voice filled with a promise to return, her heart warmed by the unexpected encounter. Rusty watched her depart, his gaze following her retreating figure, his spirit lifted by the newfound connection. His journey had taken an unexpected turn, toward hope, toward the possibility of belonging. The next morning, armed with a bag of dog treats and a renewed sense of purpose, Emily returned to the park, her eyes scanning the familiar landscape, her heart filled with anticipation. She found Rusty nestled beneath the weeping willow, his posture relaxed, his gaze fixed on the morning sky, his presence a comforting reassurance. She approached him slowly, her voice soft and gentle, her hand outstretched with a treat. Rusty, his tail wagging in recognition, accepted the offering, his eyes meeting hers with newfound trust. Emily sat beside him, sharing stories of her day, her dreams, her anxieties. Her voice a soothing melody that filled the quiet corner of the park. Rusty listened intently, his presence an anchor in her sometimes tumultuous world. Their daily encounters became a ritual, a shared sanctuary amidst the city's chaos. Emily found solace in Rusty's quiet companionship, his presence a calming influence on her anxieties, his unwavering loyalty a balm to her loneliness. Rusty, in turn, basked in the warmth of her affection, her gentle touch a reminder of the love he had once known, her stories a window into the human world he had come to understand. One day, as Emily sat beside Rusty, her hand gently stroking his fur, she noticed a small wound on his leg, a testament to the hardships he had endured on the streets. Her heart ached for his suffering, her protective instincts ignited by his vulnerability. She decided to take him to the local animal shelter, her hope a beacon in the face of his uncertain future. She gently coaxed him to follow her, her voice filled with reassurance, her touch a promise of safety. Rusty, his trust in Emily unwavering, followed her lead, his steps hesitant at first, then growing more confident as he sensed her unwavering support. They walked side by side, an unlikely pairing, a testament to the bond they had forged, their journey a shared path toward a brighter future. The animal shelter, a haven for lost and abandoned creatures, welcomed them with open arms. The staff, their hearts touched by Rusty's gentle demeanor and Emily's compassionate dedication, provided him with warmth, food, and care. And as Emily visited him every day, their bond only deepened. Rusty's heart, once heavy with loneliness, now beat with hope. His days of hardship were behind him. A new chapter awaited, a future filled with love, companionship, and the promise of a forever home.